Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday, September 2nd, daily reading. So it was interesting. So I was on my walk this morning and I'm listening to this book called Mythos by Stephen Fry. And it talks about, it's basically the Iliad retold in modern times. So it's Greek mythology retold, and it talks about each of the gods and how they were formed, and basically just talking about the Greek mythology and all the stories behind it. It's a really amazing book. If you've always been interested in Greek mythology, but you don't want to read the really boring older books, this is a fantastic book to kind of get started on, to learn the stories and stuff. I read the Iliad in high school, but it's really nice to be able to kind of refresh everything. And I just got done listening to the beginning stories of Hermes and how he was born, and how he was literally born a genius baby, where he was walking within a half an hour of being born, and within a day he had already built a guitar, which he called a lyre is what he actually called it. But I wanted to talk about Hermes because Hermes is Mercury. The gods called him Mercury, or Quicksilver, right? He is the fastest moving planet. He's the one that rules Virgo and Gemini. And because we're in all of this Virgo energy, and it's very hard to, this is kind of an unprecedented Virgo season. We haven't had a Virgo season like this in many, many years, where we have the Sun, Mercury, Mars, Venus, all together, right? And we had a new moon in Virgo. So it's also trining Uranus in Taurus, and it's trining Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. So all of the stellium, so that's what we call it when there are more than three planets, and 3 planets or more in one sign at a time, we call it a stellium. And so with this stellium, we are dealing with a lot of mercurial energy, because the Virgo, even though Mercury is also in Virgo, and that'll be moving, we have it for this week and for next week, it'll be moving into Libra on September 14th, with Venus is moving into Libra on September 14th as well. So, but for the time being, Hermes, or Mercury, is also the magician in the tarot deck. And the reason why Mercury is the magician in the tarot deck is because he's not only somebody who can build things, he has all the tools to be able to create something out of thin air, right? And I'm always talking about how Virgos are master manifestors. That's because they have really, really fast thinking, and they can produce it into reality. Well, when there's too much Mercury in the pot, right? Hermes was also known as a conniver, as a liar, as somebody who could manipulate a situation very, very easily. He literally manipulated Apollo into being his favorite half-brother, even after he stole Apollo's cows, sacred cows, right? So that's one of the stories of Hermes, and how he is. And this is a baby that was a day old. This is Greek mythology for you, right? So anyways, moving on into this story, and how Mercury is one of the favorites for a very long time, because he's smart enough to be able to manipulate situations even for others, not just for the benefits of himself, but even to manipulate situations for others, right? So that would be an unevolved Virgo energy, and having way too much Mercury energy that's happening right now. I even had to tell myself, all of this that's happening is an illusion. The way that I'm feeling right now, this morning, I started getting really frustrated, because I was it's so hard when you feel like you're spinning your wheels and spinning your wheels and spinning your wheels, and you can't bring anything into fruition. And then I stopped myself and I was like, oh my God, I've been saying that to everybody for a good week now, since the new moon on Friday. And even before then, even when Virgo season started on the 23rd, I was saying this is going to be a really tough season because you're going to have all these really great ideas and you're going to have all this stuff that you want to get done, but it's going to be really hard with all this Mercury energy because you want to get it done really fast. But Virgo energy is about getting it done right. So even though Hermes was a master manipulator and was able to get a lot of things taken care of when he was first born, right? You have to remember that we also are in a season of making sure that everything is done correctly. And the reason why it has to be done correctly during this season is because Virgo season is about the harvest. Virgo season is about making sure that everybody's being fed. When we get into Libra season, we can start to appreciate the hard work that we created in Virgo season. But for right now, again, if you feel like you're spinning your wheels and spinning your wheels and spinning your wheels, especially today, the sun, and we do have the moon in Libra today. It's going to be moving into Scorpio later tonight. So there's going to be a little bit of water pushed into the mix, which is going to be really, really nice to have, because Virgo, when we are in like a tunnel vision style like we are right now, we don't put a lot of emotions into things. So it's going to be nice to have a little bit of water wash over this. But you have to also remember that as we are guided through all of this, you get to Libra season and everything's going to be really balanced out and shown in a different way. September's tough just because, we have the sun and Mercury and Mars all together. They're like happily dancing together, getting through Virgo in a conjunct kind of way. And so we're shining a lot of light on all of the things that we want to get done, all of the things that we want to think about. And if you feel like, oh my gosh, why is nothing coming into fruition? It's because you have to do it slow and steady wins the race. Mars is really, really hard on Virgo energy because Mars wants to get everything done right now. And it's very difficult to reel yourself in, okay? So just remember that. And I'm gonna say this every single day until I have to stop saying it. Be kind to yourself, because this energy can really make you beat yourself up if you allow it to, if you allow this energy to beat you up. And like I was being so nitpicky with myself today and my hair, and I was like, oh my god, my hair is so frizzy. You know what? It doesn't even matter. It does not even matter at this point. So let's see what the cards have in store for us. We also have Mercury trining Uranus right now. Uranus is in Taurus. So you're probably getting a lot of outside of the box thinking. There's one more thing that we have I wanted to mention. Venus squaring Jupiter and Venus trining Saturn at the same time. So there could be, you're like trying to be realistic about relationships or about how you're feeling or financial status and stuff like that. Just be really careful of not being over, what's the word I want to use? Over obsessive about it, over exuberant about it, allowing yourself to like cast this non-realistic shadow over finances or love or something, because Venus and Jupiter square, it's almost like too much love and exuberance in a situation. Too much like positivity in a situation, like over exaggerating your positivity when it comes to love. So if you meet somebody during this time with Venus squaring Jupiter It could be like where you really, really, really feel very deeply, and then a couple days down the road, you're like, where was I feeling so deeply for this person? And Venus trining Saturn is about that karmic relationship. So there's this push and pull between reality and over-exaggeration when it comes to love and finances and all of that good stuff, on top of the overthinking, right? So like you're overthinking all of this love, you're overthinking all of it. Like, I just put in your mind, it's so funny. Now I'm thinking like somebody's going to meet somebody today and be like, oh my God, Betsy told me not to get overexcited. But this could be something that's really karmic, and it could be a long-term relationship if, you know, since Saturn is involved, that kind of thing. Like, don't overthink it. Go and there's not a lot of feeling aspects that are happening right now. So maybe tomorrow, like if you meet somebody today, just have a good time, and then tomorrow try and deal with your feelings, how you're feeling. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. Okay, so I have the Nine of Cups and Temperance and the Page of Wands. So what I'm actually hearing is all the things that you've really been trying to manifest right now. There's a patience that needs to be involved with it. And I do feel like some of us are going to hear something either today. Like there are messages everywhere. You know, there are messages coming from all, that's what the Page of Wands is making me feel like. But with the Nine of Cups and Temperance, it's like, we know that you've been manifesting this. It's like the universe is saying, we know that you've been manifesting this. We know that you have been working really, really hard on this certain area of your life. And having the patience and balancing out your heart and your mind with all the things that you've been manifesting, you will hear something. There will be some kind of news, I feel. Somebody, because the Page of Wands is the messenger, right? So there's going to be some kind of news that you hear when it comes to the things that you've been trying to manifest, and you're going to have to take a risk, right? And maybe it's that you need to have a conversation with somebody and you're not entirely sure you want to have that conversation, but you're going to have to take a risk, even though it's going to be scary. That Four of Pentacles next to the Fool. Because the Four of Pentacles is like, I don't want to let go of this. The Four of Pentacles, you're holding on to everything really, really tightly. And that includes whatever's going on in your mind. That includes in all situations, whether it's a material thing that you're holding on to or whether it's something else in your life that you're holding on to. There is this need to let go and let the universe work, and if it doesn't work out the way that you want it to, and I say this I will say this all the time, because I want it to get ingrained in your mind that just because you want something to work out the way that you want it to work out doesn't mean that you're going to get it that way. And if you don't get it that way, if it doesn't work out the way that you want it to work out, it doesn't mean that it wasn't for the best, right? Sometimes you have to understand that, sorry, there's a baby started crying outside and I got distracted. Sometimes you have to understand that what you want isn't necessarily the best thing for you. And spinning your wheels trying to force something to happen because you really, really, really want it to happen. This could be, some people are feeling like they need to start saving money or something like that. But one of the things that I tell people and I remind people is I have a completely different situation or a completely different relationship with money than I used to. This is one of the things that kind of happened to me when I came into the alignment with myself and started to realize that when my energy flows a little bit easier, things just start coming to me. Things just start manifesting. And I get tested all the time. Betsy, are you really trusting the universe? Are you really trusting the way that you're supposed to be going? Are you really trusting all of this? And I feel like that's sort of what's happening to everybody right now. I will be putting up a manifestation self-alignment, coming into alignment with yourself, mastering yourself, manifestation class. It'll be an online workshop where you order the reading and then we show up online. It'll be like a Zoom thing. And it's what I would have been, it's like what I teach when I travel, right? It'll be the same kind of content. We'll talk about meditations. We'll talk about self-alignment. We'll talk about mastering yourself. We'll talk about financial stability, financial growth, what it means to be in alignment when it comes to your finances, what it means to be alignment when it comes to your physical human vessel, which is one of the things that I'm like in the process of learning right now, and I want to share all of that with you. So it's going to be really fun. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be like an afternoon class, probably on the weekend. And so one of the things that I really learned when it came to finances is that energy flows where energy goes. So if I'm constantly worried about where my money is going to be coming from or where my next thing is going to be coming from, if I'm constantly worried about it, I'm literally forcing it away. I'm pushing it away from me. The more I fret, the more I worry about it, the more concerned I am about it. And it's not that I don't work, and it's not that I just sit back and I'm like, all right, universe, just shower me with all of the things, right? Shower me with the money, shower me with this, shower me with that. I don't do that. I work very, very hard, and I do what I'm supposed to do on a daily basis, but I don't sit here and think, oh, like I don't just stop working and then start worrying about money. You see where I'm saying, you see where I'm coming from when I say that? So allowing yourself to be balanced with your heart and your mind, and recognizing that you don't actually have to hold on to everything to keep it, because the universe is in constant motion, right? So everything that you're putting out there, you're getting back tenfold. So if you're being miserly and you're holding on to everything and you're not putting anything out there, then you're not going to get anything back. You see? All right, so let's see what this 9 of Cups is. Yeah, and what you're manifesting, you cannot be emotionally attached to it. I feel like there are some things that you have to release, like emotionally release when it comes to whatever manifestations you are working on. And that way it can flow easier. It can come to you easier once you have recognized where you are still emotionally attached to whatever it is that you're, like if you're trying to manifest a relationship, but you don't feel good about yourself, you don't love yourself unconditionally, no matter what you look like, no matter what job you have, no matter where you're living, if you don't love yourself unconditionally, but you're trying to manifest somebody to love you, if you don't love yourself, how is anybody else going to love you? You see what I'm saying? So you have to be emotionally, it's non-attachment. Non-attachment at its finest. You cannot attach yourself to whatever it is you're trying to manifest. If you're trying to manifest new money into your life, or a different job, or a promotion, or something like that, you can't get wrapped up in the emotional aspect of, well, I deserve to have this job because ... You maybe deserve to have the job because you're the best at it, but is it the best for you? Right? So let's see what this Temperance card is, because I do feel like this is a lesson of balance, and a lot of it has to do with our past and how we really see ourselves from our past, right? And how other people saw us and then kind of labeled us as the people that we are now, right? That's programming. So a lot, and this is a huge thing, alignment with your past. 6 of Cups. Yes, this can be an alignment with a soulmate also. There could be somebody that you are trying to align with, but you also have to be, again, balanced out with your heart and your mind and have that non-attachment. If you're trying to manifest a relationship or manifest somebody coming into your life, you have to look at it in a way of, If I am not in a position of loving myself 100%, and if I want to have somebody in my life so they will love me, then it's going to be very hard for me to manifest things into my life. So, Page of Wands. The King of Cups. This guy's been showing up quite a bit. And I feel like the archetype of the King of Cups is the person who is emotionally, he has a lot of feelings, but he doesn't necessarily show them. And there could be many reasons why. It could be that he's just emotionally aligned within himself and he doesn't have to constantly be expressing himself, expressing his emotions all the time. But I feel like he has something to say. I feel like there is a conversation that is needed. It might be that this King of Cups, and it doesn't have to be a water sign. It's just somebody who holds a lot of emotions and doesn't really express it freely. But I feel like he's ready to talk. And this he could also be a she. But I feel like they're ready to talk. And I feel like this person is from your past. And I also feel like with the non-attachment, it's almost as if you manifested this person to show back up in your life by not attaching to the outcome, by not attaching yourself to the way things are, quote unquote, supposed to go in your mind, right? So let's see what the Fool is. There is some kind of risk that this person, either this King of Cups wants to take or you want to take. Aha. There is. They want to have a new start. This feels like a fresh new beginning. This King of Cups may want a fresh new beginning because they want more out of life. So we have the Page of Cups on the Fool. And the Page of Cups is saying, I just want some nourishment. Could you just give me a little bit of something to show, you know, to fill me up? And it's almost as if he knows, this King of Cups knows that the only way that there can be some kind of fluid motion is if he takes a risk, if he puts himself out there and opens up, right? So the Four of Pentacles, what's been holding them back? What's been holding the King of Cups back? What's been holding you back? All this time, what is it that holds you back? And I want you to ask yourself that question. And then I want you to ask yourself, even though this is holding me back, what can I do to open myself up to something new and something different and allow the universe to work in my life so the wheel can turn in my favor, right? Because we're actually in charge of getting this wheel turning. We're not in charge of how fast it goes or how slow it goes. That's divine timing. And divine timing, the reason why it's divine is because it's not ours. It's when it's best for us. But we think that it being best for us is one thing, when in reality, divine timing, that's why people hate the term divine timing, because it's like divine timing means it's never going to happen. I've heard that so many times. And the reason why you feel like it's never going to happen is because it's not happening in your timing. But the responsibility of getting the energy started and getting it moving is removing yourself from that Four of Pentacles and allowing the universe to work in your life. And removing yourself from that Four of Pentacles to the Chariot is huge. And how do you do that? It takes practice. The first step to removing yourself from holding on to everything like it's like you're going to lose it all, the first step is belief. Believing in yourself, believing in the universe, trust, faith, and hard work. Those are all the things that you need, right? And you have to, I am going to knock this into everybody's head if it kills me. Meditation, meditation, meditation. If you are not meditating every single day, then no wonder you're so messed up. No wonder you're so Everything is so convoluted in your mind because you're not allowing yourself to get quiet. You're not allowing yourself. And when I say get quiet, even for an overthinker like myself, getting quiet is very hard to do. But that's not what I'm not asking you to clear your mind. I'm asking you to catalog your thoughts. I'm asking you to let those thoughts come up so you can deal with them. It's not about shoving everything away. That's not meditation. Real meditation is about the breath, about being present in the now, and cataloging your thoughts so that you can find inner peace. That's what meditation is. It's not about just like being enlightened. Meditation is not being, in fact, being enlightened doesn't come from meditation. Being an enlightened being, but I guarantee you enlightened beings meditate every day. Okay? So, oh, I love that this just happened. I love that this just happened. So we have the world on the chariot right after the Wheel of Fortune. See what happens when you let go and let God? When you realize that you're not actually in control of the bigger picture. You're in control of some of the details. You're in control of detouring if needed. There are some things that you will be in control of, but one of the things you're not in control of is the bigger picture. You don't actually know what's best for you. You think you know what's best for you based on what you've learned. But you really, when it comes down to it, the universe knows what's best for you. And when I say the universe, I mean source. I mean source energy. I mean God energy. I mean the thing that is above us. The thing that's higher than us. They know best. And why do they know best? Because they created you. And they created everything. We're not just little puppets engineering things, right? Like we're not just little puppets for somebody else to like move along. The whole point and the whole purpose to this assignment that we've been given is to bring love back to humanity. But it all starts where? With you, right? And if you can't even find it within yourself to love who you are unconditionally, without beating yourself up, without having a negative thought and stopping yourself and being like, oh yeah, no, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there because I'm better than that. Right? It's so much easier to say it than actually do it. It took quite a while for me to get to a place. And again, I'm not perfect. I just told you the story this morning about I was getting frustrated about something and I felt like I was spinning my wheels and I'm not getting anywhere and I'm not getting anywhere. And I like kind of snapped and got a little like, ugh. And then I stopped myself and I was like, Betsy, you know that you've been telling everybody that this is the energy that we have to deal with. You have to love yourself enough to know that beating yourself up in a time like right now is not okay. And if you have some risks that you want to take, do it. Right? 5 of Wands. There's the King of Pentacles. There could be some really, really harsh words said. There could be arguments that come out when it comes to finances, when it comes to material things, when it comes to what you perceive as your stability. I guarantee you that your situation is much better than what you're thinking it is right now. But you have to look at it in a different perspective. And that Knight of Swords and 5 of Wands is going to give you, it's going to give you this opportunity to be like, okay, well, I could sit in this negative energy, or I could allow myself to see things in a different perspective and go a different direction. Okay? 20% off my personal readings. I'm extending that. I'm not sure how long I'm going to extend it. I don't know if it's going to be all of September or just for the rest of Virgo season. I do have some openings next week, and then I'm scheduling for the following week as well. So if you would like to get a reading, 20% off of those, I would suggest doing it now. The Virgo special is still on. I am finishing up general readings today and tomorrow. Thank you for your patience with those. I love you guys, and I am going to be doing a pop-up live later this evening. It's $30 for one question. So if you want to get on that list, you can send it to my PayPal me. That link is in the description box below. But I'll also do an announcement on the community page here in a couple of minutes. But if you want to be a part of the pop-up live, it's $30 for one question. I'm only going to take 10 questions. Any questions after those 10, I'm going to do it as a recorded reading and send later. But that'll be tonight at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. Pacific. I love you guys. Have a wonderful Monday. Happy Labor Day to those in the States and in Canada. Bye.